This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on Project Lion and Project Dolphin for biodiversity conservation. The participants are C.K. Varshney, environmental expert, and AIR correspondent Renu Kataria.
In his Independence Day speech, the Prime Minister said that Project Dolphin will focus on both sea and river dolphin and strengthen biodiversity, create opportunities for employment and attract tourism. How do you think all these will create opportunities for employment and attract tourism?
Dolphin is a very interesting organism. It is endangered species and it is also very rare. There are only 5 river dolphins. And India is one such country, including Bangladesh and Nepal, where we have got these dolphins in reasonable numbers. They are being threatened by a number of factors. Earlier, they were in multiple of thousands, but now the latest dolphin census shows that there are 3,700 individuals that we have. Important that we should really conserve this natural wealth, and these dolphins are indicators of good health of the river. Dolphin is a playful animal, and it attracts human interest, and lots of tourists come to see the dolphin in their natural habitats, and therefore it generates the tourism. Tourism brings people, and when the people come, then it generates opportunities for the local population. They bring this kind of interest, and if we have got healthy population, and if the sighting of the dolphin can be ensured, then I think the popularity of the dolphin will increase and the tourism traffic will increase, both domestic as well as international. And thus, it gets related to the economic well-being of the local people. Transporters will get their share, and many other service people will find an opportunity of earning their livelihood and so on. So I think these are all interlinked. If we take a holistic view and create a situation in the natural environment, particularly in the river Ganges as well as in Brahmaputra, where they are found in good numbers, but they are on various adverse factors also.
We're talking about Project Dolphin here. How do you think Project Dolphin will help in benefiting the marine ecology of the Ganga?
Well, it is the aquatic ecology of Ganga will be benefited, because marine dolphins are found along the western coast of India in large numbers. To ensure good population of dolphin, we have to cut down pollution, and we have to ensure that solid waste is not dumped into the river and the river water is clean. Once the dolphin population is ensured, or we safeguard dolphin population, then it goes along with it that we have to stop pollution, and as we stop pollution, the biodiversity of the Ganga improves, and as the biodiversity of the Ganga improves, the water quality of the Ganga improves. So the case with Brahmaputra. So I think that dolphin protection involves that effluent should be stopped into the Ganga and into the Brahmaputra, and we also have some dolphins in the west, and these are known as Indus dolphins. And they are present in Punjab, in the Bias River. So these are very precious species that we have.
Talking about dolphins itself, my next question is about the human population and the human interference being one of the prime reasons for dismal dolphin population. So what are the other factors that are adversely affecting dolphin conservation?
When we talk of the river dolphins, then the barrages, the dams, as well as the pollution, they all become adversaries to the dolphin population. They cannot migrate to the length of the river, and therefore the population gets divided. And as they divided, then their numbers become small, and these numbers at some places even become non-viable. So I think this is one of the major reasons for the dolphin, because its habitats are getting very much restricted, disturbed and polluted, and this we have to remove. At the same time, when fishing is done, then in the net, many of these dolphins are also trapped. And many times these dolphins are also fished. So I think all this results into total deterioration of the dolphin habitat. Dolphins survive where water depth is high. So if the water flow in the river decreases, because we have taken away a lot of water from the river, then the dolphin becomes restricted only in those sections of the river where the water depth are reasonable. So I think these are some of the factors which really all put together affect the welfare and the survival of the dolphin. And that is the reason that the population which was found to be throughout the length of the Ganges River in the plains now gets restricted into a small section. There is another population of the dolphin which we call Irrawaddy dolphin, which is found in Lake Chilika. And in Lake Chilika, earlier there were not as many, but now we find that there are large number of dolphins which have really inhabited Lake Chilika. And that's a very good sign. And this Lake Chilika is a lagoon. And I think in the world, this is perhaps the largest lagoon population of the dolphin that we have in Lake Chilika in Odisha in the Ganjam district. So I think these are very prized possessions, and they are also scheduled species. That is, they are endangered species by IUCN, as well as according to the Wildlife Act of India. So their protection becomes very important and critical. At the same time, our commitment to biodiversity is always there. India has always worked for it. We have already succeeded in Tiger Project and Elephant Project. So I think it has provided a lot of confidence to handle these critically endangered species and to protect them for posterity, as well as to really make them available as places of tourist interest and attraction.
Moving from dolphins to lions, we have learnt that Project Lion will entail habitat development, engage modern technologies in lion management, and address the issues of disease in lion and its associated species through advanced world-class research and veterinary care. For a common man, what do these modern technologies and research look like?
Lion is indigenous to India in Gujarat, where we have got the only surviving population or a viable population there. Their distribution was right up to the Middle East, Afghanistan, Iran, and so on. And they have all finished. So I think this is the only pocket of the lions that the world has, which are known as Asiatic lions. Now, since we have provided them protection and we have taken care of their survival, their numbers have increased. And now they are around plus 674 in number, which is a very, very healthy situation. And you will see that in 1990, their number was only 284 or something like that. Now 674 is a very encouraging number. The Gir forest is about 1,400 square kilometers. Now, every lion requires certain space. And if the number increases and the space remains the same, then I think there are a number of problems. Gir forest, which is a scrub jungle, is a dry area. There are lots of Maldharis also who are living. These are those which really rear cattle and they practice animal husbandry. So they have their buffaloes and so on. But since the lion was attacking the domestic cattle, these people were compensated and removed from the lion territory. But of late, they have migrated back after enjoying the compensation given by the government. They were resettled somewhere else, but from there they are migrated back. And currently there are about 450 and odd families which have come back into this area. Traditionally they have been living here. And as a result, the number of lions have increased, area remains the same, and therefore the prey population has not increased in correspondence with the requirement of the total lion population. And therefore they attack the cattle, and sometimes they attack the human beings and so on. Presently, it is interesting to know that 50% of the lion population is in the designated Gir forest or Gir sanctuary, and 50% is out. Sometimes these lions are on patrol, much away from their traditional habitat. Even in Veraval, near the sea, people have observed lions. They move on the road, they move on the rail track, because their number has increased. So we require much larger area for them to accommodate, or we must really repopulate this area more densely so that more herbivores or cheetal or the blue bull, etc., which are the normal prey species for lions, their number also increases. So I think habitat improvement is this. The habitat size should increase as well as the quality of the habitat increase, which is going to support these growing number of lions. As you know, that lion attracts tourists from world over. And last year, there were about more than lakhs of tourists which have come. And when tourists come in that large number, the local population, the transporters, the tourist guides or the wildlife guides, they all get advantage economically, they gain employment and so on. So I think economic prosperity gets attached with it. And that is one of the things. Secondly, that India has become famous for really revival of these lines, and I think world over people are praising it. So I think it is a center of attraction, global center of attraction, see the lines in their natural habitat. However, over-visitation of the line habitat may have also an adverse impact, so we have to be careful. And these are the kind of things that the project line will like to address. Of late, it has been seen that line has suffered lot of casualty, line population, because of the disease. And one of the prominent diseases is canine Dempster disease, which is a viral disease. It is primarily related to the feral dogs or wild dogs, and through this it has jumped to the line. And I think we don't have enough safeguard against this disease and treatment facilities. So I think a high-class veterinary hospital and research institution is also being envisaged in the proposed line project, which I think is going to be a very valuable item in this project that has been envisaged. The modern technology is always very helpful in monitoring the line population using camera traps and the analysis, as well as the aerial surveys and as well as GPS technology, which will help us the movement of the line and so on. At the same time, we are also going to use modern technology to find out other possible areas where some line population can be shifted and which we find equivalent to the Gir type of forest where the line can establish another territory and can be their safety and can have enough prey population for them to survive. So I think these are some of the broad contours of a likely line project that has been envisaged by the government, which to my mind is a very timely and a very valuable, and this is also an endangered species and it is endemic. Endemic means found here and nowhere else. So anything which is so precious and so magnanimous as lion, and that too when we possess it only ourselves and nowhere else, I think it becomes high priority conservation project to be undertaken.
Unlike the economy, the demand for wildlife products has not shown any slowdown, especially poaching, be it on lions and be it for dolphins. How do you think the supply chain can be broken to stop illegal hunting?
Modern technology can be of great help to us because we can have a surveillance using these devices that we have now. And we can really use the aerial surveys that are now becoming very popular and so on to really catch the poachers. Fast communication, that is, how do we provide information from field to the ports as well as to our airports and other places from where the smuggling takes place. We can quickly really send a message across, either it is the skin or it is any body part of the animal which we think can be taken out or which are of great value internationally. It is prized and so on and so forth. So I think a fast communication network is one such great aid that is one of the requirements, because most of our wildlife sanctuaries do not have that kind of a communication setup which can quickly reach across the controlling authorities and the authorities which really have the necessary power of blocking the outflow and to check these indiscriminate poachers which are at work. But since the local people are seeing a positive economic advantage by seeing the tiger living, so we have to involve the local population, both for the lion as well as for the dolphin, to become their guardian or to take care of their protection. So I think involving the local people is a very critical and important aspect in protecting these two precious and highly vulnerable or endangered species.
Thank you so much for joining with us.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on Project Lion and Project Dolphin for biodiversity conservation. The participants were C.K. Varshney, environmental expert, and AIR correspondent Renu Kataria. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.